Hello, everyone, and welcome here to TownHall Heroes, episode number 117. I'm Solid Jake, and you know what? Normally, we just go down the line and intro and do the whole thing, but I'm gonna go straight into a story. You'll notice my voice is a little destroyed, and that's because I just got back from New York City. The last few days have been utter chaos for me, but I have experienced caster hell. I have been to the deepest, darkest depth and most challenging scenario of commentary, where I did this promotional event with Hewlett-Packard, which was genuinely a blast, but the production team hadn't really ever done a broadcast for something like esports or Twitch or anything of that matter. So I literally had to commentate in a venue where a DJ was blaring music without any actual headset. I had a handheld microphone. Part of it had a clip on. I couldn't hear my co-caster next to me. Like, even though there's like Rayned and I were like literally trying to yell at each other as we were trying to talk to each other in this venue. And it was, you know, I'm literally yelling just to hear myself. So usually I'm very protective of my voice when I commentate. I try to not blow it out. I've gotten a lot of experience in doing that, but I had no choice yesterday. But it was actually a super fun event overall. So I think I've leveled up as a commentator, probably like hyperbolic time chamber status, like where it's the ultimate challenge. Like, no way to communicate with the director. He's like giving me hand signals, and I'm just like, we're going to commercial break? Yeah. So that was interesting. And I cast a Minecraft event, which was equally as enjoyable.
Casted a Minecraft event. How did you get tied into that?
Long story short, it's local. My I guess soon to be brother-in-law works at this place called the Connecticut Science Center, and they were doing this children's Minecraft tournament where there's one element of creativity, one element of Minecraft parkour, and one element of survival mode, and I had to cast the whole thing.
Awesome.
But it was really fun.
So you were casting some hardcore PvP Minecraft action?
It wasn't even PvP. It was survival and looking for gems. Like, it was children. It was
and now he is going to continue to punch this tree. This is some really riveting stuff here. I'm not sure what he's going to do next, though. Yeah, that's
exactly that.
Sounds like a good time.
Yep. So, well, now that I've gotten my rant out of the way, we've got a glorious show lined up here for you guys tonight. We're going to be going through all the Gamescom coverage. We're going to be going through, the new heroes, the new maps, talking about some of the balance changes that Grubby has been showing us on his stream from Gamescom Live, going in and talking about the actual NA regionals. We had the first one this past weekend, and we have another one actually in a few hours. So that's, the chaos continuing. We have some really exciting news surrounding Bloodlust and some updates in that in terms of whether the whole event's going to be run, the rulings, the rule set, yada, 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 and then NA qualifiers. But this week we've got Dunk Train and KO. Dunkus, how have you been, man? You are totally muted, and it's lovely.
Oh my God, he forgot to unmute. What up? I'll just
please unmute.
Okay, you're good. All right.
all right. There we go. Thank you. Wow, totally just lost all my steam there. No, but so basically, I don't know. I just cast the qualifiers last weekend. I followed Denial through the bracket with DJ Tyrant. We had a good time, and not a huge surprise to us, at least. They qualified, so we'll talk more about that at the end of the show, though, based on the tracker at the bottom. And that's it for me.
Awesome. KO?
Hey, yeah, I mean, I pretty much did the similar thing, but on the other side of the bracket, of course, following Naventic. And, oh my gosh, I got to watch Soldier and Arthalon play the game. My old school SMG boys, the OG crew. That was a blast, seeing them back in action. And just overall, it was a good time casting. I feel like I've just been so busy lately because there's just, now that I'm kind of outside of the ring of just like playing the game, because like your life is just so clear in terms of the path that you're going down when you're playing. I'm sure you relate to this, Dunk, but it's like when you're a pro player, you just think about the game all the time competitively, and then you like show up for practice and you're like, all right, we're scrimming, then I eat food, then I think about the game more, then I play more, and like it's just this continuous cycle. But now there's just like so many different things going on between like the stream and like casting, and also you want to make like content, and it's just like all these juggling, all these different things. So I feel like I've just been all over the place, but life has been really good. And Yeah, we got the cast going tonight right after this, so should be fun.
Yeah, that's great, man. It's
Yep.
good to see you streaming a lot. I mean, I'm checking. I'm always lurking. I'm always poking in, just like, what's
yeah.
KO doing? Who's he playing? I'm like, I don't like that hero. I'm out. No, but
So that's all it takes to lose you. You just pick the wrong hero.
Yep. If
Just
you're
a very fickle viewer.
if you're not playing Nazebo, why would I watch? That's basically where I'm at.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
All right, guys. Well, so as you can see in the top right corner, that's kind of the state of Bloodlust. You know, we'll be going through a lot of that. I'm just going to give a generic big thank you to everyone who's already supported that, and later on we'll be touching it on that a bit more. But already $3,094, and remember, you can use the code Bloodlust on Matcherino to add $1 for free to the entry, courtesy of basically Matcherino. That's their way of supporting the event. So. Really, really cool. Let's just jump right into the Machines of War, the big announcement. Actually, you know, we haven't had this since Eternal Conflict. It's been, you know, that was almost like a year ago, I feel like, when we had Eternal Conflict,
Almost, yeah.
which was, if you guys don't remember, or maybe you weren't playing at the time, but it was a Diablo 3 invasion into Heroes of the Storm. That's when we got Infernal Shrines and Battlefield of Eternity into the game. There was also some Diablo heroes entered the mix, and maybe some Diablo skins. I don't really remember. Yeah, the Demonic Tyrael, I think, came in, and the Angelic Diablo, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. But they're doing very much the same. They're giving us maps, they're giving us skins, and they're giving us heroes. And I think this is far more content than anyone expected out of Gamescom. Like, BlizzCon is right around the corner. What are we going to get there? Like a golden pony? Yeah. Sweet. No. So what are your guys' thoughts on it?
We got enough ponies in the game, okay?
Yeah,
right.
that's
ponies.
True.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone, I mean, there was a lot of hype about the whole Gamescom thing for Heroes, I know, within the community and among the community members. Like, we knew a lot of people were getting flown out, not only for the tournament, but there were going to be announcements. So I'm really excited about it. I think Machines of War looks really, really good. The content looks excellent. The maps looked sweet on the trailers for those. They were really cool. They looked really polished. I think aesthetically they're really cool and thematics are great. So I'm pretty excited for it. I like it.
Every time they come out with one of these little, I guess it feels like an expansion, right?
Yeah.
You know, it feels like
kinda.
It feels very similar to like the Hearthstone expansions that come out. And they don't really call it expansions or whatever, but it's just kind of like these new eras or whatever. It just definitely feels like it broadens the game so much. And I love when they do this. Although, you know, getting more into the casting side of things, now it's like another set of names. You have to remember the names of like different like merc types and stuff. You know how right now it's just like the giants, and then there's like on the Diablo matcher like the goat giants and the
spear guys.
Khazra camp. Yeah.
Khazras. Yeah, and then now you're gonna have like
you could say big camp, small camp, or siege camp, bruiser camp. Technically, that's accurate across the board, but I see your point.
But you always, you know, you want to try and say the accurate thing, and it gets like there's so much different information when you have like all these new types of stuff coming out. But I love it, you know, and I love the fact that like when you play on Towers of Doom, that you have like these different mercenary camps that are completely unique in their own way, and like the shaman camps on the Diablo maps are, you know, just they interact with the map differently. Like you can't leave them alone because like the minions don't kill the right target, and the dogs just keep getting summoned. So like I'm sure there's going to be their own unique way of making these mercs interesting. I didn't actually see if there's anything they showed yet about how the new mercenaries will work.
Well, what we know is like the boss in the middle of Braxis Holdout is like a Viking, so it's like a ship, and they didn't show much of it, but I know that when they defeated it, it was in like its grounded form. But when it resummoned, it was in its flight form. So I don't know if that's going to be similar to the way that the Immortals work, where the Immortals kind of have a ranged form and then a melee form. Maybe this is pure theory craft right now. But I mean, it's not even just that, but like, you know, this camp like has the Raven, and then it has I don't know if these are Goliaths or grounded Vikings. They look kind of weird because they're Zergy.
Yeah, they're like corrupted Vikings or something.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be a little bit different with them, I'd imagine, because that's a 4-pack. And the Ravens, I think the Ravens actually drop turrets, so it's kind of like akin to what you expect to see out of with the shamans, you know, summoning the doges. That's going to summon turrets, but like it sounds crazy powerful.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking from what we've seen so far. It just looks like there's a lot of beautiful detail, in this new set of maps, just like there was with the Diablo maps, where they really went all out aesthetically and everything to make it feel like you're in that universe. And I think that's really cool that they've continued that and put so much work and effort into it.
I love it. I think it's like a really good direction too for the game. Like we had those initial maps launched, and the initial decision to like have everything be like universe neutral, so all the heroes could fit in. I don't think that's as interesting as like what they're doing now. Like the Diablo maps, like you said, are amazing, and these maps look super cool. They look and feel like StarCraft maps, so I'm actually really excited about that. I think it's like a way better move for the game.
It's almost kind of like when you play fighting games, and you go to people's world, and like it doesn't matter that the characters don't necessarily fit in, but it's just like it feels like you're just like, this is my turf,
It's cool. I came to Heroes going into this game before it was even like out, right? Just ready to go ham, because conceptually it's the Smash Brothers of Blizzard games. I mean, I grew up Smash Brothers, obviously that's my background. That's my childhood in every regard. And I look at Blizzard games as kind of like my older life. I played Blizzard games a lot through college and stuff. And I was like, just the fantasy of being Thrall on a StarCraft planet, like that just resonates so well to me. And that's what Heroes is all about. So to finally have the StarCraft universe coming to the mix with this sci-fi, it makes me nerd out so hard. It really does. Like I freaked out when I saw this. I think I was like in my hotel room, and actually no, I remember this very clearly now. We were supposed to be getting ready for our event, for the HP Omen launch event, and the YouTube stream just wouldn't load for me. It like just wouldn't load. So I was like living vicariously through people's tweets, like Blizzard's tweeting out mad gifs. I'm like, oh yeah, and like I was just like just getting my little fix here and there. But eventually I did see the full trailer, obviously, and it's fantastic. But let's actually talk a little bit about the maps first, right? We already talked about the mercenary camps, war machines of war, and they released an in development video where we can actually get a decent idea of how the maps work. So Brax's Holdout is the first map that they showed us here. And
a two-laner.
It's a two-laner. So we haven't had a two-laner since, well, I guess we have BOE. But this looks a little bit different because it's like, well, all the merc camps are in the middle. So we've got the four merc camps and then the boss. Again, that's a bruiser camp, I would imagine, and the siege camp or the 3-pack. Those are Hellbats, actually. And then
the minions are Marines on this map too, which is sweet.
Oh, that's so good.
I love it.
Like if they don't do the footmen and the grunts for the Warcraft map that we will get eventually, I would be so disappointed. Like,
oh my gosh. Just this like themed expansion releases too makes you so hyped. Yeah. But like what comes in the future too, just like you're saying, like footmen and grunts and like alongside dare I say Blade Master eventually, Everybody maybe was like kind of speculating was gonna happen, and then like we got totally different like ambush with the StarCraft thing.
I'm glad we got a melee assassin too, but we'll get to him. I think that's big for the game. But yeah, just wanted to show this, like the Viking is like infested and landed, but then when you destroy it, it's no longer infested and it comes down as just a genuine Viking in flight form. So I thought that was really interesting when I saw that. I don't know if that actually means anything, but it was cool. And then you basically grab these beacons, you fill these holding cells with Zerg, and then you unlaunch like big waves of minions that push. From Grubby's stream, these waves are beefy from what I could tell.
Yeah. They look insane. I mean, just looking at how fast that killed the wall and like all the minions that came out, it looked nuts. And that map looks super deadly because all the camps are in the middle. Like I can't even imagine trying to contest a boss camp or something there. Like it's right in the middle of the map. You don't have like a your side favored boss camp like on Cursed Hollow or something, and you can't trade. It's like, no, there's a boss in the middle. You're gonna fight for this.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. Can I just say, when you had that freeze for a second, you had a frame of Nazebo in the StarCraft universe. He looks maybe the most out of place and lost character to fit in side by side with a bunch of Marines and like mechs.
It's so cool though. I love it.
Yeah. And I think this is almost like the battlefield of the StarCraft realm now, Battlefield of Eternity I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Where, that has turned out to be a fantastic map that shows a lot of really good competitive play. A lot of players really like that map. And, it's just like, because you have so many good clashes. And I feel like we're going to see a similar effect with this map. So this map, in my opinion, is going to be like my favorite
Interesting.
out of the two.
So even though it's going to change drafting a lot to be very like you need a lot of lane clear, like for sure. Like if you just look at those massive Zerg waves, like you're going to want as much AoE as possible to just burn through that. So I think it's going to change the dynamic of how you have to play it. Because in the event that you're just you're being sworn, it's a Zerg rush. They literally call it a Zerg rush. So that's really interesting. But let's jump over to Warhead Junction, which, as implied, is all about nukes. And this is a standard 3-lane map. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that they went ahead with this, almost post-apocalyptic.
The look of this is so good. It's like not a look we've seen in the StarCraft universe either. Like
they have, but it's just not.
It's amazing.
Yeah, there are scrap map, like Scrap Station was kind of like this, but.
It certainly does differentiate itself from the other map as well in tone, and I like that. It just thematically looks similar with the mechs and that style, but it has its own color palette to it, which is nice.
Well, I just want to agree with that, but take it to the next level and say that the fact that Battlefield and Shrines have the same tile set always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because as a new viewer, that's a little confusing. Is this the second stage of the same map? Who knows, right? They might perceive it a few different weird ways, but there's no way to mix these two up. They are very different maps.
So this is the one with the mega nuke, right?
Yep. You basically channel the nuke, and the way it works, as far as we understand, is it's an ability. Obviously, it does damage to structures. We see that here. Does it do damage to heroes and minions?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So in the thread, there was a clip. I don't know if you're going to show it, but there was a clip of someone who used the Warhead in a wombo combo, and people were saying it does 60% of heroes max HP in the center blast and 30% on the side. So wow. It is an insane nuke, especially if you get to hit 2 or 3 people with it.
So Zarya, first pick, first ban on that map.
First pick, first ban, 24/7, all the time.
That's so funny.
I think, to be honest, when Zarya comes out, everybody's just going to be going crazy over her. So much consistent value, and you can't go wrong with an AoE CC, constant control pull-in ability. Come on now, that's a kit right there.
Zarya looks sweet.
Okay, before we move on to heroes, we do have to keep things going pretty quick tonight. But KO, you said that the first map, Braxis Holdout, is the one that you're more excited about personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
Okay.
That is.
Dunk,
yes.
What's your vote? Which one are you more excited
the nuke, man. Fulfilling the thematic, the ghost channeling the nuke, and you got the I wish they had put just the red dot in though. That would have been for me where
the enemy team can just see the dot on the ground.
Yeah, just see a red dot.
I'm about to die horribly.
Nuclear launch detected.
That whole I don't know, that's so amazing. I love that. I miss that so much from StarCraft, and I can't wait to actually cast nukes. That's why.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
I love the Zerg Rush thing or whatever. I think that is actually a really cool mechanic, but dropping nukes, man, come on.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. I'm actually really excited for that.
The fact that you can use it in so many different situations too. It can come into play in a base race. It can come into play as the big team fight changer. It can do all these different things where. I don't know. It's just that wild card that both teams can throw into any situation. And I feel like we'll see some really, really close races and stuff where a nuke is just enough damage to make one team win over the other team, So that map's going to be cool. And it's a huge map. Well, maybe not huge, but it's a bigger map,
it's
right?
A bigger map.
So
it is, yeah.
And that's why, the nukes are going to be a lot of fun because, you mentioned, the various situations. Have they confirmed, if you're restricted to holding 1 nuke per player, or is it 1 nuke per team?
I have no clue. They might have, but I don't. I didn't see that mentioned anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously then the stride of stockpiling nukes. You drop 3 nukes in
everyone
a fight.
Has a nuke, boys.
That's so funny to think that that's you could look for these power pushes and these timing attacks and these various options, which it's a very different approach to the map objective too, where it's not just you get this minion that does stuff. It's no, you have a strategic advantage because you
can
have
choose
this at
when
your
you
arsenal.
Want to use your advantage that you earned instead of being forced to do something this second,
which is just great. It's it's just really exciting. So big props to Blizz on that.
Chat is saying 1 nuke per player, and if you die, you drop it.
Can it be picked up?
Yeah, if you die, you drop it and someone else can pick it up.
It's like dropping the ball.
Oh my god! Like if you make a play to snipe their nuke carrier and pick
so
it up and turn the
hype.
teamfight with it, that will be so. Like imagine a tracer sniping a backline who's carrying a nuke and then like popping the nuke on your. Oh my god, the plays, boys.
Oh, I'm in the shadows. I'm gonna go turn the light on. I gotta crawl over behind the desk. But yeah, we'll watch this video. I'll let you guys ramble about it while I stop being the Shadow Lord.
Oh
The
yeah,
Shadow Lord.
hero. Talking about Shadow Lords, this guy looks pretty Shadow Lord-esque.
So the one ability I'm not 100% understanding is what does telekinesis actually do?
Okay, so based on the way we saw them use it, it looked like you target someone,
Yeah.
and then you either pull them or push them.
Oh.
So
okay.
like, if that's what it actually is, that's insane because that gives you so much control over the team fight. Like pulling someone in who's out of position or like peeling for someone, and I don't know, this guy looks sweet.
Did you guys talk
You know,
about?
I feel like one of the little like weirdnesses of this character though is being a melee assassin, and then it looks like he's just a little bit, he's a slower character, right? So
Well, that's why he's got control. Like telekinesis, you can push yourself, you can push your enemies.
You can push yourself?
You can push yourself and enemies all at the same time. So you can engage with telekinesis by like swiping it to behind you, like to the side. His lightning heals, and then he has the engage. His ults, he doesn't have upgrades at 20, but instead you can get both. You can get the charge and the counter.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like,
looks insane.
which is so sick.
Plus, did you see his other level 20 talent, the rewind one?
No.
Like, okay, so he has his trait is he deals bonus damage to heroes, and at level 20 he can pick up rewind basically, but it comes at a cost in that it permanently reduces the damage you do to heroes. Like, so instead you start and your abilities do a certain amount of damage, but double to heroes at the beginning of the game. And then all throughout his talent tree, you have talents that can increase the damage you do to heroes through your trait or decrease it. So it starts at 100 and you could scale it like all the way down to 50 if you took minuses on every level, or like up to like 130 or something, which is like really cool. But then at 20, you can get a rewind version that actually takes away a small percentage, like 4% of that or something, every time you use it. So like if you pick it, you have to win the game like in the next few fights, or you're gonna like just keep losing power.
That's so cool. Did you see Last Laugh?
Yeah. That looks sick.
Last Laugh, you just activate that, you teleport like wherever you want to go, I guess, on the map, but you have 1 HP, but it removes all damage over time and all of that stuff. So you're alive. You're gonna be okay for that moment. But anything that touches you, even a minion, an archer minion shot, that's it. You're done. Anything. That's crazy.
Do you think we will ever see a Last Laugh play to make a Rhaegar Ancestral land on him and like win the game? Imagine how clutch that would be, dude. Like you're getting folks in a fight, Ancestral goes off, it's not going to hit you. You're taking too much damage. Last Laugh away, like past their backline or something, and then come back from behind with full HP. Just crush the team fight. Think how sick that would be.
That's awesome.
Or you just like you have the monk. You gotta have Bakery on your team for this, I think. But you say, all right, get ready. I'm about to Last Laugh in the middle of their team. Bakery's just shaking like with so much pressure on him. He's got to hit that palm.
I'll have 1 HP. You better hit the palm, buddy.
That's so cool.
And then you Last Laugh onto Johanna as she's using Condemn, and they're like, oh no.
You just died at like a holy fire tick, like
but
mistakes for made.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about like him as a melee assassin in general, and like we think about Kerrigan as like being the hard engage. Zeratul more of like the poke kind of like standoffish, and he's a little bit more about controlling the fight. He can push people into a clump, enable somebody else to land a big combo. I'm just thinking of like some great synergies that could exist, but also he's got the long range, so he's not just pure melee. He's also got the he heals with that as well. And he has a base kit silence. The only hero that's ever had a base kit silence was Illidan. Long time ago, Illidan's kit was completely different back in the alpha, and we haven't seen that. And isn't it a full 1.5 second silence on an 8-second cooldown? So he's going to be very impactful with that on his Q. It's cleave, right?
Enemies in front of Alarak take 175 damage and are silenced for 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, so
8-second cooldown, 1.5 second silence.
So that's really good.
That
is
really
really good. The fact that he can push you around, stop you from casting spells, and have a lot of control rather than just being another melee assassin that's about raw damage and stuns. I'm like so ridiculously excited for his entry into the game because that's compelling. It's different. It's fun.
I love silences, to be honest. Like, I think they need to be used more often because it's just one of those like crowd control elements that like is more useful as like combo disrupting and not so much just at kill pressure. Like if that's a stun, then all of a sudden this guy has like way too much kill pressure or whatever.
Right.
But as a silence, like you have to be way more careful about when you use it. Yeah, you want to use it for the damage, so most of the time when it's off cooldown, but you have to think about, okay, am I actually going to prevent them from doing something like meaningful here? And it's a good way to pressure them without just like having a ton of stuns in the game. So I love silences. I think that's sweet.
It's really healthy for sure.
I think you're right about that. It's just kind of an underused mechanic right now, like in the game, and for just having that ability to get in there and like time the silence to stop a healer, it kind of, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit more of like WoW PvP type of stuff where like, you know, you're trying to like get that quick little window of silence to like secure a kill or something, or it doesn't have to rely on like full hard CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Alarak, obviously he's like being played a bit at Gamescom. We don't know when he's coming out, but that's going to be the next melee assassin. I think a lot of melee assassin players are rejoicing as the number of ranged assassins versus melee is definitely higher, and having him in the game is a warm welcome. But speaking of ranged, we do have, in theory, our second ranged tank in the game, the second ranged warrior. Rexar technically does qualify as that, and now we have Zarya, more the true of it. She dabs when she dances. She's already OP, and she's very much like her Overwatch kit. Her trait empowers her damage. She's got 4 charges of her Q, which is the particle grenade, self shield, and then the ally shield. Self shield's a bit stronger than the ally shield. When you absorb damage with those shields, it makes all her DPS do more. But let's talk a bit about Graviton Surge. Is this the rebirth of the Wombo combo?
Yes. I don't know. I don't think you want to go like full Zeratul Gazlo Wombo level, but this ability looks insane to me.
Yeah, it's another big setup, of course, and it looks like a little bit more of a reliable way to do it. You know what I mean? Like we're actually going to see Wombos more consistently, because to pick Gazlo and to run Gazlo, it's like so difficult to actually do that or see that in a competitive level game. But with Zarya, I feel like it's actually doable. It's more consistent. So we will probably see a lot more Wombos at high-level play. And yeah, it's just insane like how powerful and how much potential that ability has. Because there's definitely like the scale of how impactful different, you know, characters' ultimates are. And then you have at the very, very high end characters like Zeratul and Tyrael, whose ultimates literally can win a grand final, you know, like at any moment. You can turn a game around at any point with some of these ultimates, and you know this is going to be one of them. I feel like if you hit the right, like four people, you can definitely just win the game right off of that.
I can't wait for the Reddit threads of like, I landed a 4-man Graviton Surge, but my team didn't follow up. QQ, just like you get with mosh pits right now, where like, oh man, I just can't carry out of the dumpster tier because nobody follows up on my moshes. I can't wait for that second round.
Well, it's gonna happen, dude.
Sorry. Yeah, but it's still sweet. It's still sweet.
You know that's sweet.
So is her attack like? Does it splash? Does it like pierce through? Because it kind of looks like it does on some of the clips they're showing. Like her attacks look like it hits in a line. Do you know if that's actually how it is?
If it's true to Overwatch, that's how it would be. But I don't know for a fact. I don't know if it actually confirms that, because they don't have the health bars up.
I didn't even know it worked that way in Overwatch. So. That I didn't know that it hit online even in Overwatch.
I mean, yeah, it pierces like Reinhardt's shield. Like it pierces everything. It's
like, see when she's firing at Li Ming, it kind of looks like it's hitting behind her, like with a little particle, but I don't know if it actually is. I'm sure someone in chat will yell at me.
Sounds like
yes, it does. It does. Yeah. Nice.
So that's gonna give her lane clear. She's gonna have tons of AOE. She's got great presence. She's got the offense. She's got the defense if she go for that. She's got amazing skins. Her master skin, it's so like retro. And then the whole Mad Max Thunderdome like skin right here. This just, it does it. Like I'm a big post-apoc fan, like in every regard. We're actually throwing a wasteland party in a few weeks, and dude, I'm gonna dress up as that.
That red black tint looks sick.
Fire. But dude, she's gonna hurt a lot. Her Q is also splash, just so you know. That's not single target. That is splash. She's got supporting elements with the shields. Like she literally has everything.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of shields.
She doesn't have a space bear.
It's true.
You're right.
Speaking of space bears.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, KO, but
it's good.
Saw an opportunity.
I was just gonna say, I mean, like with Tassadar and Zarya on the same team, I feel like we might see more of the like no support type comps, just relying on shields.
Ooh.
Oh,
So much shield potential.
like Medivh Zarya, like crazy control, teleport
yeah.
through, drop the graviton.
Medivh, Zarya, Tastar, Illidan, Abathur. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, who needs
Everyone on the Illidan.
Oh, the Butcherlisk. I hate this skin. It scares me.
Yeah, I feel like everybody is just like what faced when they see that skin. It's
Just give him like underwear or something. I'll be okay with
so
it.
weird.
I don't know. I think that looks sick.
I mean,
I like it. I think if I ever played Butcher, that would be the skin I would use.
You're just camouflaged when you get the Zerg rush
Oh, that thing in
objective.
the middle.
You
I never
just
even
move with
noticed
it
that.
and nobody notices.
You make a Kerrigan on your team, pick Ultralisk, and then like have the Ultralisk go in, and they're like, "Oh, that's Butcher, focus him," and it's actually the
my
Ultralisk.
gosh. That's brilliant.
Value.
this
The only way to make Ultralisk viable.
is nightmarish. I never noticed this thing popping out of the ground. I'm so upset right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Very Zergy.
Ooh, Green Furnace Blast. I like that.
And then, of course, the new legendary skin, the Queen of Ghosts, and Kerrigan. Go ahead.
Pulse Fire
The little
Kerrigan.
trailer they made for this is sweet too.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, this skin is awesome. Oh,
Everything
man.
about the kit just looks
the
so
claws
cool.
look so killer,
Yeah.
dude.
The Ultralisk just phasing in.
It's so cute. It's like a baby Ultralisk.
And then the Tron cycle.
I wouldn't be able to resist not running Ultralisk with that skin. It just looks so cool.
It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, that mount is beautiful too. Wow.
Oh, I love that. It's like that's literally just post-apocalyptic, fantasy right there. The whole riding through. So, yeah, definitely some cool stuff. Old Gods reference here for all our Hearthstone fans. That's definitely cool to have that, and a lot of great stuff on the way. All announced at Gamescom. So, Zarya, Alarak, who knows when they come? Considering when did Ariel come out last week? So 3 weeks out in theory, we should have one of them.
I think someone said there was a hard date for Alarak that was like September 13th or something.
Oh wow.
But I don't know. It's like 1 week later than the normal 3 weeks, I think, or something. So maybe like 1, 2, 3. So 3 weeks from last Tuesday would be the 30th.
Yeah.
And then it's 2 weeks to Alarak, and then 2 more weeks for Zarya. So it might be that there's even a hero in between. How cool would that be? But I don't know.
Well,
They said,
you're saying soon TM basically.
well, like the thing is, it's weird to do it on the 13th because that's like a whole month plus from Ariel. And
It's Friday the 13th.
so
So that would
I-
just be in poor taste.
I don't know. I think there might be a hero in between.
I don't know. I think,
Really?
I
You
think
so?
I think
Dude, that would-
with
I don't know.
with BlizzCon like on the
Yeah,
horizon,
maybe.
I think if they just release these two heroes between now and then, sure that's less than they normally do, but if they're also injecting 2 new maps into that time frame as well, that's like more than enough content. And I personally am for the like a little bit more stability on hero pool and stuff going into BlizzCon. That way the patch and everything can be ironed out and teams are, looking rock solid at once BlizzCon hits. And then BlizzCon, they can throw whatever the heck they want at us because that won't actually affect the tournament.
Yeah, I could totally see like a 1 month like before BlizzCon just
there's
stop.
Yeah, that would,
adding
I think
content
that's
and
smart.
just try and like keep balance patches to a minimum, even
Yeah.
just try and fix outliers. That would actually be really good, I think, for the tournament because
agree.
there's so much on the line there for these teams that
It's a $1
holding
million
on to it would be
event.
cool.
Like,
Yeah,
that's crazy. So,
Yeah, we are closing in on that window where you can't be like, all right, we decided to completely revert the changes to minions, and now minions deal,
Yeah.
50% damage, and the towers and the forts are improved by 300% health. Good luck, guys. BlizzCon's in a week. See you there.
Yeah. There's 2 heroes you can't draft. There's only 1 map to play on. Like, excuse me? Just go crazy right before BlizzCon.
So we get all this juicy StarCraft stuff out, and
Mhm.
we'll have a nice couple new maps and everything to play on for the big leagues, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
okay.
I love
so,
new maps.
I'm
They're so
looking-
fun and fresh.
Oh, I'm So actually, let's talk about that. Like in terms of map pool, do you guys think the map pool needs to be restricted for tournaments, especially like now that we're getting 2 more thrown in the mix? Like in StarCraft 2, I think a lot of events kept the map pool at like 7 because you know you can only practice so much. You can only have so many viable strats versus all these different styles of play, and there's a point where it gets like, even I know Overwatch, they're already just like, okay, we have too many maps. You know, the pro scene's like, we need to figure out like how to cut down on maps. So how do you feel about that, KO?
I feel like Blizzard has got to notice at this point that people, you know, aren't so keen on seeing Garden of Terror as a map right now. So I feel like that's one that could definitely be like just rotated out of the pool. As far as maybe another one, I don't know. I think like it's a tricky situation to take away too many of the maps. But I feel like if we could definitely get a nice, healthy, you know, 6 to 8 maps would be the sweet spot that are in the right spot and everybody's very happy with.
Yeah, I agree.
And then just throw Haunted Mines in the mix too. You know, just very fun.
The classic.
Have you guys played that at all?
Mines?
Like,
No,
I don't
not
know,
since
lately.
I went to customs.
Well, like
I-
Medivh like doesn't work on it. Like Medivh like is really awkward. The one time I tried to play him there, I just wanted to see what would happen, and I ran into some weird interactions.
I've been playing like just sometimes with my viewers and stuff, you know, we'll run back on Haunted Mines and play it. And compared to the maps that are in the pool now and just the way the game has changed, the Golem feels so strong compared to like, you know how when you get like a first Punisher on Diablo maps or a first Immortal and it's like,
And
it's
just
going to
does
get
nothing.
a wall and
Yeah,
like
a
if
wall,
you have
yeah.
Sylvanas, maybe it'll get the fort. Well, the Golem absolutely is going to crush the fort if it has 60 skulls or more. It's just
Really?
a monster. Yeah, it's
That's so
you got to
funny.
try it again sometime eventually.
Okay,
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to do that. All right, so Mines probably won't be returning to the actual mix. We talked about Zarya, we talked about Alarak, but we know there's a few heroes that are getting some changes. And also, before I forget, Chris Gansler, who's one of the CMs in Europe, announced that GM's dropping down to 200 from 500. So that's another bit of news coming out of Gamescom, which I think is a good change. That's going to make that top 200 feel much more prestigious than top 500. I mean, but did you read the changes to Vala that were transcribed from Grubby's stream?
I did not.
Oh
I haven't heard.
yeah.
Oh, Makeo, you're gonna create.
You know, I like me my Vala.
Yeah. So just to kind of go through the start of it, Volek's basic attacks took a nerf just at base, right? So inherently she got nerfed. She now deals 62 damage at level 1 where it was 98 before. So that's like, they said it's a 37%. And a shout outs to Balin on Reddit who did write all this up. The trait though now increases her basic attack damage for up to 8% per stack. So before it was 3%, now it's 8%. So she gets 80% bonus damage at max stacks. Obviously there's talents and everything that change all this. Vault now basically empowers your next basic attack by 5%. So when you vault, your next attack is like a crit, you know, like not a huge crit, but it's still going to be a crit. And the mana
That reminds
cost,
me of Tumble.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. And the mana cost has been reduced. Then there's a bunch of talent changes, but I don't want to talk about everything. But the one thing I really like is Rain of Vengeance is now 2 charges. So you just have 1 charge, and then you have another charge, which is obviously huge for the flexibility in her fights.
Yeah, that alone is a really cool change, just in terms of the quality of life of that talent. The second charge is often kind of awkward, let alone 4 charges at level 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ult just goes on by itself for like 20 seconds, you know, like, hey, I'm still doing it. Getting so much value over here.
That's true.
But I feel like it's going to be it's kind of cool to see that character maybe shifting more back towards being a auto attack based character, because she's started to feel more like a mage than an auto attacker. I don't know about the vault thing. It sounds like it's going to be a weird situation to be vaulting in, you know, aggressively for the auto attacks when that's like basically her main form of escape and mobility in a team fight. But
Yeah. No, I
maybe
totally agree with you.
we'll see more builds like based around building those stacks as quickly as possible.
There's tons of talent changes, tons and tons of talent
okay.
changes.
I
I
just
get
need
level
to-
13. This is the hotness, this talent. Lethal Shot. I'm not saying this is the best talent. I'm saying this is the hotness for making them fatty plays. Increases the bonus damage of Vault from 5 to 10% per hatred stack. So instead of doing the 50% bonus damage, it goes to 100% bonus damage on your next auto if you're at max stacks, and if the attack kills the target, mana cost and cooldown of Vault return.
So
wow.
Resets, boys.
She has resets. They're making carries like way more flashy. Like Vala is gonna be able to like go into a fight, vault in, pick up a kill, vault forward, pick up a kill, and then just look like an absolute god.
Nazebo's flashy too, guys. Come on. Wait till you get resets on frogs.
Resets on frogs.
Resets on spiders. Spiders reborn. That would be awful.
Yeah, no, I think Vala should be one of the flashiest characters. You know, she should be one of those characters that's in every highlight reel, just like going in with going in, cleaning up backline at fights, and you're just going nuts watching her and like crazy mechanics, moving back and forth, getting those autos off. So I think that's good. That's how she should feel.
Yeah. I agree.
Because lately she's become like a big ranged poke machine.
Yeah.
No, you kind of just like shoot out your multi-shot, and then you kind of like wait, and you're like, here's a little Q, and then another multi-shot, and then you don't really get in there or like in the mix of things. You don't really get into the fight.
And even like her multi-shot talents and stuff now, they're all based around her trait. So like they're really trying to make sure that like you're not just being a mage. You got to keep your autos up because you got to keep your trait up. And if you're not keeping your trait up, then you're not dealing damage. So she's got to keep poking around. I don't want to go through all the talents, but level 20, I find it interesting because she's another hero that's losing Bolt. This is a very common trend when they rework. They tend to gut Bolt. And like I've had this conversation on the show where I'm like, maybe they're gearing up to like make Bolt like a base talent, or like one of those many base talents like Bolt and Venom, Storm Shield. Maybe every hero can choose to have those like League has for Flash and all that stuff. Who knows? I like the idea of that. But anyways, Vengeance, they've basically added lifesteal for Strafe. So level 20, there's 25% lifesteal on Strafe. Storm of Vengeance, that's not going to be confusing as a caster. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Rain of Vengeance by 5 seconds. Yay. Rancor that is a big deal though. Basic attacks reducing Rain of Vengeance cooldown by 5 seconds. Like you're going to be casting Rain of Vengeance like a madman. It's a ridiculous talent. I can't discredit it. But Rancor, every stack of hatred increases the attack speed by 2%. At 10 stacks, you get an additional 30% attack speed increase. So become an absolute machine gun, and then you can get 40% additional attack range. So she's got some really cool damage and control oriented options, not mobility. She already has Vault, which is more mobility than someone like Kael'thas,
Yeah. Have
you
guys run into this guy Troy 1010 on Hero League ever?
No.
This is a really random little tangent, but with Vala, he is like a top 50 Grandmaster player, and he always runs this like absurd build on Vala where he goes full into the auto attack with like vigorous strikes and then tempered, or whatever it's called, tempered by discipline. All the life steal plus like an auto attack build where you build up hatred stacks as fast as possible with the level 1 talent that does that. And he's got this like just crazy build that actually works out really well. And I feel like, I don't know, it will work with that kind of style. It's in line with that, because it's more about building up those stacks quickly and then just being this like auto attack shredder. So cool. Troy 1010, if you're listening.
So with 40% additional attack range at level 20, is that just going to be like unbeatable? Like with the auto attack style? It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to deal with her. She's just a huge threat that you need to pressure. So
it's really cool. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm really excited for it. I mean, obviously these changes aren't final. These are what were in the build at Gamescom that Grubby streamed. Grubby's really good about looking through stuff and then just pulling it up, just like letting people screen cap it and decipher it all. And he knows the stats so well too, so he immediately finds the differences as well. Relentless Leader is now level 4 for Raynor. I know that's another change, but I think there's a change to it. Hammer got some changes. It's much smaller. I think there might be a few more, but obviously Blizzard will eventually release the patch notes, and that's when we'll officially dive into it. So, bam, that's all the news for Gamescom, or at least some of it. And if you like the other Blizzard games, holy crap. They just announced Karazhan in patch 7.1. Did you see that?
Yes!
Oh,
Dude,
Wait,
so
what
much
is that?
nostalgia.
It's
Is that for?
it's-
Is that
it's a
actually for
raid.
WoW?
Yeah, it's a WoW.
Okay, because I thought
first raid in
because I know
Legion.
about the Hearthstone
No,
stuff, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
does that have something to do with that? Okay.
Return
So,
to
whoa.
Karazhan. It's a new raid.
Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
Karazhan
Yeah.
and WoW. Whew.
That's the spiciness. That's some. That's
That was
some
such a fun
molten
raid.
lava Indian curry going up right now, but I don't know what that means. Okay,
Sounds hype.
sounds hype. Well, you know what else is hype? We've got some big news for Bloodlust that I'm excited to share with you guys, but I'm going to keep you stalled out for just a second as I prepare something. So Bloodlust, we announced it last week. It's obviously designed to be the return of community tournaments for Heroes of the Storm, grassroots, the glory of it. And when I conceptualized this event, I was like, Dunk and I will get on the mic and we'll cast together, and that'll be cool. And then we announced the crowdfunding, and like in the first day, we got like $2,000. So holy crap, guys! Thank you so much. We're 1 week in, and we've raised about $3,100, which is absolutely insane. And our goal is $5,000. So when immediately, like after that first day of just, sitting here and working and talking to players and offering coaching sessions and just trying to polish the site and talk with people and get people involved, I came up with the idea. I'm like, what if we flew Dunk Train out here? And I'm like, what if we flew Zarya out here? And I set these goals, these markers, where if we hit X dollars, we'll instead of putting that money into the prize pool, we'll put that money towards bringing them here. And I got really set on that idea. Well, fortunately, to make sure that happens, we have officially just partnered with Ting and announced an official partnership. That Bloodlust sound was half cut off. That sounded terrifying, but I'm very excited to announce that Ting has officially come on board and sponsored Bloodlust to make sure that Zarya and Dunk Train can join us here. They will be flying out to the studio for a full-fledged production. We're looking to do the commentary desk, we're talking about more. But the official announcement, we just got this in. Ting and us are still getting everything ironed out, but they are thrilled to help support Solid Jake and Heroes of the Storm community for the first ever Bloodlust tournament. They've been involved in StarCraft 2 community for a while now, and they're branching out to other Blizzard titles, and this is the first time they've made it happen. So they're giving a big thank you to me for being a great partner, and they're really just excited for the future and doing a lot with Heroes, because Ting, like you said, they've already been supporting esports, and this is the first other game they've expanded to other than StarCraft 2, and what a better title than Heroes. They're just like, we love Blizzard games. So I'm just really thrilled, just the fact that I know that I can bring Dunk here and I can bring Zarya here. And I'm also going to have a tournament admin here already. I'm going to have my designer who made the Bloodlust logo and one of the other logos, which will be announced soon. His name's Ryan. He played in Heroes of the Dorm on the Tricky Turtles. RPSD is his actual other name, but he's also really involved in Heroes.
Can't forget those guys.
I know, right? But like I met him at Seattle at the finals this year, and he's just an awesome guy, and he's local, so he's going to be coming and helping with production. So suddenly we're going to have like 5+ people here in the studio for this weekend event, and that's so much cooler than just doing pictures in a box, on Skype, right? It's infinitely better, and Bloodlust is shaping up to be amazing. But like, we want to keep the ball rolling, right? I mean, we're at 31.15. Thanks so much for everyone who came in with the next donation. We'll give some shout outs properly. So we've actually, I'm like, how can we expand this? How can we make it even better, right? Oh, and Sophist. I don't think I gave Sophist the love. Sophist is going to be our admin. Sorry, Sophist. I'm like, I love you, man. So yeah, Sophist, he's been running events for Heroes. He's been one of the absolute main Heroes admins. He's going to be here on site. But so basically what I'm announcing right now is we've expanded our stretch goals. We've actually altered them. So $5,500, if we can raise that money will go towards making sure KO can join us, and that would be really amazing. And if we hit 6K, I'm going to actually make sure I invest in all the equipment needed and in a couch to provide an actual analyst couch where it wouldn't just be commentators. We'd have Dunk, KO, myself, Zarya, maybe someone else that I am not not going to announce yet, all here on site. And, just for a truly unique event, we want this to be something awesome. So again, a big shout out to Ting, and give them a warm welcome, everyone, because this is the beginning of something beautiful. And remember, guys, Ting, they're just at Ting FTW. Like, they have FTW in their Twitter name. They're inherently like part of the gamer family. So shoot Ting a big thank you for supporting the hero scene.
All I can say is having Zoya at a tournament like this just feels right. You know what I mean?
No,
like it just feels right. Like if there's a family of Heroes of the Storm, you know what I mean? Like he's definitely like the one person who everyone just loves, right? And just like he's the one who knows everybody. He's seen it all. He's been there since the very beginning, and he's just such a core part of it. And he's such a funny dude. I think it's going to be a blast having him there. So I don't know. This event is just going to be incredible. And I'm super excited to watch and see. And I know it's going to have that more like, I feel like almost just because of the influence of Jake, it's going to have that more like, I don't know. It sounds weird to say, but fighting game community feel to it, where it's just like people just kind of more in that like a hanging out sense, right? Like
that's the
having
goal.
A good time.
That
like,
is the 100% goal.
Having fun with it, So I think that's awesome.
Because that's something that Heroes doesn't have. Like, Heroes right now is all like serious production tournaments.
Yeah,
everyone's like super formal, business suits on, get some ties, boys, let's go. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like some of my favorite events are the ones that are just silly and dumb. Like some of the Home Story Cups are just like so much fun to watch because everyone's being a clown and it's just fun and laid back. And like if Bloodlust can be anything like that, it's going to be amazing for me. So I'm super happy to be a part of it.
And like I don't even know what else to say. Like it's just the fact that we're being enabled, to bring you guys out like risk free and to be able to level the production up and just do it. Like just do the show and have an awesome time. And also the fact that we're giving opportunity to new and old players and teams to stick around and fight for good bit of prize. There's also going to be additional prize pool added, but we'll have that announcement I think next week so that's going to give the prize pool a jump as well. I mean, we're already sitting at 31-17, but we've I really just want to make this something like a staple in the hero scene, and this is the beginning. And, this has been my dream ever since I started doing stuff with Heroes, and then I left New York City once I left MLG. I told myself, I'm like, look, I've been a producer for esports events. I've been a graphics coordinator. I've built full production packages. I've run, streams that have had, 20, 50,000 people watching, and I've been in the mix. And I told myself, I'm like, all right, well, if I can learn how to do everything, and slowly but surely over the last couple of years I have, but I need a crew of people that are talented and passionate to actually execute the level to basically warrant it to be called more than Solid Jake GG. And that's really what this is going to be. Now, I'm about a week away from being able to tell you what it will be called. Just some legal things that need to be locked in before I formally announce it. But this is a home esports studio, and Bloodlust is the debut of, I guess, the future of what I want to be doing. So, and I'm just so pumped to have Maturino helping us out, and now Ting on board to help us out, and the community really making all of it possible, because without the community's reception last week of the event and the way it was announced, Ting wouldn't be here, guaranteed. Like that's really, that's really what matters, is like if it's something the community genuinely wants and wants to be a part of, then that's really what's going to build and drive the event.
Yeah, you got to be proud of that, man. The community needs that less formal kind of like, let's have a good time. Let's kind of laugh and experience like a tournament that's more grassroots and, down to earth, rather than just like all this like super tight knit, like hardcore competition all the time. And that's really what builds community, more so than always just watching like the tip top level of, extremely just tightly monitored production and everything. And just like all that, it's just more like, let's just have a good time with it. So I think we need it, and it's going to be great. and wonderful. And thank you for doing it, Jake.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to be able to do something like this for the scene. I'm honestly just thrilled. So we've got another month to prepare and build everything, and we're going to make this event really awesome. But I do just want to pop in and give some thank yous to some of the people for supporting this event. 3117 so far. Bakery, actually the #1 donator. He's funding American esports. Like with that Brexit money, like how does he do it? So Bakery, Psycha, Optica, I'm going to butcher everyone's names, Truaki Gamer, Zinism, Static, I mean, so many people. Dai who stepped in, Dai who offered 2 coaching sessions. Those went in a matter of seconds. King Caffeine offered a coaching session. That went immediately. We've got Alex the Pro G now offering coaching sessions. Those are available now. Zoya's happy birthday package. This was, I'll probably delete this unless somebody really wants Zoya to sing happy birthday to them. This was designed to guarantee him to be flown out, but now obviously we've locked him in. Fury offered a couple coaching sessions. We're going to get, I mean, I've realized literally there's only tank coaching sessions on there. We'll get, I mean, maybe KO will offer some coaching sessions. Haha, putting him on the spot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You asked him on live air. No, he can't refuse.
That would have been an awkward moment in the show. I was just like,
that's why I did
not
it.
a chance. Not a chance, Jake.
We've got some Hero of the Strombolis backing up here. I'll give those proper shout outs. Someone's getting wiggle video. I get to make a video where I wiggle in front of the picture of their face. That's going to be awkward. You know, just so many people really just helping contribute. So I can't shout out, you know, all 300 or whatever it is of you, but seriously, thank you so much for just helping make this a thing. And that's the news of Bloodlust. Well, that's the first bit of news. The other bit of news is Sophist, our admin, and myself were discussing, and Dunk, we were discussing rule sets as to like how we should execute the event. And we basically came to the realization that when it boils down to scheduling and the match duration and showing all the good matches and having the best show possible, the best format is closer to what we did for the TownHall Invitational last year, rather than what we did for Kings of the Storm, because initially this was just going to be a full Kings hybrid. And basically the way Kings worked is it was 3 weeks of qualifiers and then a final event. So it was 4 weeks of action. And if we had a flexible time frame for this year, we would probably do that format. And I think for a future Bloodlust, that's probably what the format will be. But since with DreamHack and BlizzCon and everything also stacked right now, we still want to get this event in before BlizzCon, because that's one of the big goals, is to just give NA more practice. We are going to be going forward where we're going to invite the top 4, and we're going to have a 1 weekend event where the top 4 will advance. So there's actually going to be 2 weekends of Bloodlust. The first weekend will be September 10th and 11th, where that will be full open bracket. Like everyone, from regardless of where they are, they can enter and play in that event. Well, actually, I will restrict it to North America. And then the week after that will be the live event. Because I was just thinking about payouts in other countries, and that's really complicated, so I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But
wherever you are in the world, I mean, in North America.
I immediately retracted my decision. And then the week after that, on September 17th and 18th, will be the top 8 event, where we'll be going forward. I think we're going to do every game just about. Maybe the first round we'll have a secondary stream or something. Maybe I can get a secondary stream set up at the house. We'll iron those details out. But there will be 2 weekends of action. So if you're interested in planning on playing in the qualifier, that's the 10th and 11th, which is the weekend after PAX West. So it's going to go PAX West, then Bloodlust, and then before you know it, it's going to be BlizzCon.
Okay, so here's a very important question, Jake. If Bloodlust, the second or the main phase, let's say, is on the weekend of the 17th and 18th September, Zarya comes out that week.
Oh, she's loud. She's in.
Oh yeah.
There's no. If I'm willing to like throw caution to the wind with some things, it's something like just enabling a hero. Like I'm not going to be full on wonky rule set. I'm not going to do like Kaldor has that series where they restrict the hero pool and stuff, and they have multiple bans and all that. And that's great and that's cool, but that's not really the goal for Bloodlust. But to like just enable like a new hero earlier than normal, all for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So I mean,
the only talent you can't pick in the tournament is Bloodlust. That's the only rule.
Actually, it's funny you say that because there is actually another stretch goal. It's called the Bloodlust Bounty. And basically, the Bloodlust Bounty, the way it would work is if the event hits $6,500, $500 would be allotted to a team winning with Bloodlust. So if they won with Bloodlust but didn't win the tournament, they would automatically win that bounty of $500. So it's like kind of like one of those fun initiatives, and I was trying to think of like maybe doing a few other ones. But the Bloodlust Bounty is just like if you can style on someone and beat them with Bloodlust, you just get $500. Like if we unlock that stretch goal.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be clown fiestas everywhere. It's going to be great.
Hey, I got to get people to play Bloodlust somehow, right?
There you go.
So, well, that's what's going on with Bloodlust. Again, just a massive thank you to the community. And, oh my God.
Did we just get...
Somebody dropped a monster donation. We're at 37.19. I can see that on my screen. Wim Clend. Cheers, Jake. Good luck. Looking forward to it with a $600 donation towards the prize pool. Wim Clend, thank you so much, my friend. That is huge of you. And now we're infinitely closer to our goal. So, wow, thank you so much.
That's
man.
Enormous.
That's huge.
Win Clend for the Win Clend, man. Wow.
That's actually like his slogan. Win Clend for the Win Clend. Wow. So... See, and that's just, you know, the power of crowdfunding. And a big props to Matcherino because Matcherino has made this such a seamless process. They enabled me to get going very quickly, and it's been an absolute treat working with them. So thank you so much again, Wimclend. But let's keep the show rolling, boys. Let's transition over to talk about Gamescom. And Gamescom 2016 obviously is a large event, but there's a lot going on with Blizzard. There's the announcements, and then there's competitions. With Heroes of the Storm, we've got the second and final European regional where one more team will qualify. The action was going all day today. I was traveling home from New York. I only got to watch the series between Fnatic and Dignitas, and it was a very good series. We saw Bakery just rolling around with that solo support task. I always feel scared as hell when I see solo support task, but he made it look fantastic.
Was that the one with the Abathur as well?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's a Towers game with Abathur Tass as well. Anyways, proceed. Just go ahead.
But yeah, no, it's just like it. You know, Dig was playing really well. We saw, in my opinion, some uncharacteristic poor Falstead play out of Wubby. Some gusts that like actually I think just straight up lost them fights. But like all in all, like Fnatic looks like really strong too. I don't want to spoil it, so this is where you can tune out if you don't want to hear the results because we're totally going to talk about them. But your time frame is up. So yeah, Dig obviously played really well, and they advanced here, and that puts Fnatic in the situation where Fnatic goes down to the lower bracket where they're one away from being knocked out. Fnatic got second place at the last event, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
So if Dig wins this event, they would have a tiebreaker in the event that they got knocked out. So they still have like a few contingencies left. But then they go against To Be Determined, who busted out what? I'm just looking at the games now. Stitches, all 3 games. Medivh in 2 of them. Like
lots of Butcher.
They're doing the Gorge strike. Yeah, Butcher coming into play. Like so, KO, you watch more than me, and Dunk, you probably watch more than me.
I checked out the drafts. I didn't see much of the actual games because I didn't have time, but I reviewed the drafts, and there's some spicy stuff going on over there.
Yeah, there's so like double tank, the standard EU stuff is going on where double tank is pretty much being played in every game it looks like, but ADRT and the 2B's Determined team they look really good for a lot of names that I wasn't as familiar with on that roster. Just taking games off pretty much everybody and doing it in pretty untraditional ways. So yeah, they were running the Butcher and they made it look pretty darn good. We saw a fair amount of Jaina pick too, at least from Dig. It seems like Meta is just sticking to the Jaina.
Oh, JPL, oh my goodness, he was on fire in that series that I saw.
Yeah,
but
okay, this is what I'm going to say right now is that it's kind of cool to see EU actually looking a little bit like NA in terms of the teams are very closely matched right now. And, if you watch that set between Dig and Fnatic, how close it was, with that game 3, it actually was a really tight finish. And
it was.
That is exciting to see. Like right now, it becomes a lot more about like really deeper analysis and stuff because you don't know at face value who's just going to win these tournaments. And you can't just make easy bracket predictions anymore. So it's just like NA where you see like Murloc Geniuses and GFE and Aventic and all these teams are neck and neck. They're right up there, can take games. Yeah. All of them can take sets and games off of each other. So I'm really excited to see that. And that toss-up makes it a lot more interesting to watch and find out where people lie. So that's exciting.
It really is. I mean, the state of the community, like the state of the balance in this game too, like the variety of heroes we're starting to see between double tank comps or like whether or not they go for the melee assassin or, seeing more warrior play like Leo's back, as you mentioned, Butcher's entering the game, which is enabling Tyrande to play like, Butcher Tyrande just for the roam. Tyrande hasn't seen play in a long time. Tons of stitches, sometimes with Medivh, sometimes without Medivh. Obviously the Gorge going through the portals, like really great for a free pick, but I see there's a game where Cho'Gall was played. Looks like it lost, but
as it should,
and the crowd goes wild.
I'm glad to see Medivh actually getting the hype he deserves. Like we didn't see any of him at the NA regional, much to my surprise, and I think a lot of people were kind of confused by that because I think he's really good and he proved to be really, really excellent at the EU regional. I mean, at least the games he was in, like he looked sick in some of those games, and ADRD looked insane on him. So
it's so ADRD's hero because he's so weird.
Oh yeah, 100%. He loves that stuff, like just playing around the weird mechanics of a hero, and it's just like. I knew the second that hero was coming out that ADRD would be all over it. Doesn't surprise me at all. But I think the Butcher's pretty cool as maybe a way to deal with the double tank a little bit, just shredding that front line down and them not having quite as much like damage to just nuke him instantly, because that's really where Butcher like falls apart, is the fact that he just dies in like a round of spells from 2 different people. So I don't know, that could be a thing. I think Jaina being a little bit more popularized by EU, I feel like, especially after, once they're on the current patch, with the changes to KT, I think Jaina will really start being popular as finally, like, she's going to be seen as more of a consistent mage option, because it was always Falstad and KT before, and Li Ming, of course, but now you have, like, one more option that actually is reliable.
I wonder how much play KT we'll see. Because this tournament in EU is not with the KT changes, right?
Right.
Okay, so like, I wonder how much we'll see of him afterwards.
Like we saw him being used to good effect, paired with the hook. Dig was, landing the hook and then throwing in the gravity lapse, and that's obviously going to be a strong combo. There will be things like that where you want the stun, you need the stun. Graviton Surge plus Living Bomb sounds awful. So like, I don't see KT just being erased from the face of the earth. And also I'm just thinking about the new map with the Zerg Rush. Like KT's infinite value when it comes to just needing lots of AoE damage. So who knows where he'll end up, but obviously he's going to be falling off with Jaina starting to pick up some steam, it seems. Yeah. What do you think about To Be Determined picking Raynor in a game? Raynor, Sylve, Rhaegar, Arthas, Stitches?
Personally, I mean, it looks like you really got something you want to say, Dunk. I just want you to just let it rip.
I more so just want to make really unpleasant noises about picking Raynor.
Just groans.
That was my perspective. Yeah, I don't know what you were about to say.
I was just actually going to say that, I think Raynor might see a little bit more play. I don't know. I feel like Raynor is actually a little bit undervalued right now, so I was kind of happy to see that, but who knows if he's going to ever find his way back into the mainstream before he gets tweaked a little bit. But I like seeing that he has the giant killer and stuff to shred down what is so popular in EU, which is the double tank frontline.
Yeah.
And I feel like it should have a place. And if Raynor's not viable right now against double tank, he should be, right? Like he should be one of the answers.
That should be one of the places he specializes. And I mean, if you look at that draft, like the Raynor pick, I can see why they picked it, right? Like he's solid against Tyrael because Tyrael can't 1v1 him. Like Tyrael can 1v1 a lot of backliners, but he probably can't kill Raynor. because the extra health. Like, the thing is, the Leoric Entomb is a little scary, but even Greymane isn't as much of a threat to Raynor because your Raynor can get that resistant on his E and pop that and survive. So, like, in theory, I could see it working. I just don't like picking it with the Stitches because I don't think they work together really well. Like, Raynor's not the guy bringing the hook burst, right? So that's the only reason. Like, if that Stitches was a Muradin or something, I think this comp would have been sweet. Like, double Bruiser, like a pseudo Bruiser backline in the Raynor, and then, like, I think it would have been really good. But I don't know about the Stitches.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really awkward combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's hook the target and penetrating round away. Hooray!
You're gonna have that guy who does that though, telekinesis the target away every time. He's like, "Come on, man!"
Dude, I'm so excited for that ability.
Yeah, at least you can telekinesis them in. So
yes,
you have a 50% chance that your player will not mess up your hook.
You know there will be that one guy though.
Oh yeah,
it'll happen. Well. And then the other thing that's just amusing on this is, meanwhile in China, teams just trying to throw whatever the heck they can at eStar Gaming, trying to find a win. eStar Gaming with the Murky ban, and then the Gazlo medic engage. You put Gazlo in your dropship, you drop the Gazlo down, and you try to get the wombo combo with no follow up whatsoever. Super esports here.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by this.
Yeah, looks like somebody was trying to have some fun, and they were probably not successful since they were playing against D-Star. They probably got crushed. So
I really
I
need to watch that.
Soldier in chat just said MVP beat Tempo Storm with a Raynor pick 3-level lead.
Wow!
Really? Wow,
Jeez.
that's pretty hype.
The Someone Deer's in there.
Speaking of the Asian meta, yeah, you know, so Someone Deer's back in the scene.
I know.
Now, so.
I saw him in chat earlier today, but I didn't see him in our chat here. Someone Deer. I'm so happy to have you back, man.
But yeah, Chinese, like, eStar is just so dominant.
Yeah, they really
it's actually incredible. I mean, we were just talking about how now in NA and EU, you're starting to see more of like a consistent, like top four basically that have, contention over that top spot all the time. But in China, it's just like eStar things, the eStar show constantly. So that's, at the same time though, it's kind of cool to see somebody be that much of a star in the region and what they're going to bring to BlizzCon.
E-star, that much of a star. I see what you did there.
Yeah. I always make the unintentional puns on the show.
So a few other donations came in just to interject really quickly. Lurhan with $6 and Agani with $300. We have now surpassed the $4,000 mark. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, that's insane. We've gained over $1,000 since the top of the show. And, Wimkla and Agani, you guys are just... Maybe KO will be here. Maybe we'll have that analyst couch. Who knows? That's so amazing.
Get me there, guys.
KO is going to start, crowdfunding for the event.
Yeah.
So that's great. But yeah, just back on track.
I'm going to start a car wash, guys. We're going to do it on stream. You have to bring your car to Arizona. So, wherever you are, you have to factor in that cost.
And then,
it'll be worth it.
Washed,
I'm going to wash your...
You drive through desert and just get all dusty.
Oh, yeah.
Drive it back.
Damn it. That doesn't work.
All right. So, this is day one. This is group one of the event. And obviously, Dignitas, they've got to be very happy with themselves, playing as well as they are, moving forward. I think they are onto the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's...
Yeah.
Okay. And then for Group B, we've got Misfits, which is former My Insanity, Google, Exalexian, and then the Jabronis. So I don't really know what to expect out of Group B. I mean, obviously Misfits are the favored team, but do you guys have expectations?
No.
Sorry, I just saw there was another donation. Holy cow, another 250.
Holy crap.
What were you saying for the NA for today?
Yeah, no, for Group B of EU tomorrow.
Oh boy, put me on the spot with that one.
I mean, I'm totally just asking.
Lost.
I have no expectations. It's just I really don't know what to expect in that group. Wow.
Yeah, I have no clue, honestly. It's actually really weird because Dignitas and Fnatic are two of the known elements, and they were both in the same group. So it's not like there's a free prediction to get out of this group. At least the way I look at it. I don't know. I'm sure some of these teams are a lot better than others, but I don't know who is right now.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun regardless, and we'll see exactly how similar the meta is to Group A, where we saw a lot of crazy stuff. Maybe there's even crazier or different things happening. One big difference is just like the prioritization of Zagara in North America and Europe is like wildly different. Like we see Zagara like a common first pick, first ban in NA for a lot of teams. And even Falstad, there were games where like Falstad was being given up sometimes. I was like, whoa, what's going on right now? Like, why would you not pick Falstad in this situation? But it's cool to see the way they all do it. And shout outs to Candyman1 or X Candyman or X1 Candyman1X for the $250 donation. Thank you so much, man. That's huge. We are now at 43.18. That is actually stupid at how this has escalated.
Dude, TownHall for the win. TownHall's making it rain right now.
Yeah, I guess so. But okay, let's transition and talk about NA because we know NA is, well, it's actually happening in like an hour and a half. So that's a little crazy. It's going to be 2 matches tonight and the 2 matches tomorrow. But we also had the first qualifier happen this past weekend. Now, I was out of town for some events. I have not caught up on any. I know who advanced. I haven't seen any of the games. Has the meta in North America evolved at all since regionals?
Well, I feel like, so me and Dunk are both going to give basically our answers 2 different ways, depending on how we saw, our side of the bracket. So this works out. It's good that we weren't on the same casting team, but I was on, I was casting for, Naventic, and Naventic ran Medic every single game. I don't know if you guys saw, but I made a video talking about it because they were so confident in Medic that they literally ran it nonstop, and not versus nobody teams either. They were running it versus, and this sounds contradictory to what I just said, but Dumpster Tier Rejects, which is a team that has like Faye and Sray and Iacona and actually some extremely talented players. And then, of course, against the PAX Prime Tickets Please team, which is basically the conglomeration of players who have variously retired throughout the last year of HOTS, all coming together now and reforming a team to try and get a spot at PAX. So that's pretty cool, and we get to see that. So as far as draft goes, the biggest change, we're just seeing Medic being played nonstop, and then PAX Prime Tickets Please also ran some crazy comps with Murky. They actually won with Murky. Arthlon was playing Murky on Towers of Doom, and they pulled it off. And I just want to say that watching that team play was like a time capsule because they ran all of the comps that were good when they were playing. You know what I mean? They're very
so
running
fun.
very little of the current meta, but it was like Tyrande ETC, Thrall comps, just Arthlon playing Murky, which is just Arthlon things, and it worked out pretty well for them. But they weren't unfortunately able to take down Naventic. So the draft stayed pretty similar, except for these wildcard teams doing
Their own
weird
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
so
actually
cool.
really interesting that Medic is getting kind of picked back up. We didn't see any Medic, at least I didn't, following Denial. I don't think we even saw a single game, I don't think. On the Denial side, they definitely didn't play it. And I don't know, I'm kind of surprised to see it.
Well, Kenma played a fair bit of Medic at regionals, in Burbank already, right? He was starting to pick up some of the Medic, and he had good success with it. When he was on Brightwing, he was getting picked, against GFE in particular, because we had Crowan just playing Tracer and just hunting him. But he saw better success with the Medic, I felt at least. But when it comes to Medic, though, is this going to bring stuff like dive back? Are you going to go Judgment Leap? Is Eraser going to be the response to it? What do you guys feel about that?
Well, for what I would say, definitely you need to run hard engage to kill Medic. And I think part of the reason, just from having talked to Ken and stuff about why they were running Medic, is I think they feel like it's a very comfortable pick against teams that they feel they can beat, because that requires so much execution and crisp play to actually kill a Medic correctly. Your team has to be on the same page, and you have to know exactly what you're going to do in order to kill Medic. And I think they kind of use that to their advantage to play a character they know their basically highest win rate chance with that character unless the other team just plays perfectly. So they ran it a lot also with like Tyrael, and they were able to just like use the sanctification to keep him alive through the dive, which I really like that defensive use of sanctification, which is actually something we never see. Sanct is almost always used aggressively, right, to complement like a gray main or another tank going in like ETC or something. But to see it being like Zuna just had a lot of trust, like he would throw like Aldrin's like on Kenma at the beginning of a fight, and then he would, as soon as anybody would dive onto him, he just takes that Q, instantly drops Sanct. So it was really cool to see that like trust, and they're obviously like very good at running that as a team. And honestly, yeah, I think they could make it work against any team in NA right now. I just feel like against like the tip-top level of like Korean and Chinese teams who are so good at running execution comps where they actually can make all of their ults impactful and get that kill on medic, they probably will shy away from it.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
All right, Dunk, how about your side of the bracket?
It looked really standard, to be honest, from what we saw. We just followed Denial, and they drafted a lot of the same stuff we saw at the regional. We didn't see any like super crazy surprise picks. We saw a lot of Lunara. We saw some Leoric get played. Saw a ton of Greymane. I mean, everything was pretty much to be expected, I would say. Yeah, we did see one game with Cap on Leo.
That's good to hear.
And you know, I feel like that event was so close in time to the regional that like they had not enough teams have had time to really change stuff yet. So everything looked pretty much exactly like the actual regional did on our side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised to hear that. Honestly, I was just curious to hear what was happening, and it's just so fun to, like you said, the time capsule of these retired players that are now kind of like free surfacing.
I love it.
And when I see those players coming back, like right around the time where I'm announcing Bloodlust, that makes me really, really, really happy, because that's kind of what I want. I want the history of that of these players to be coming out in that event. But we'll see. I'm just
yeah. Don't you want to see them at another event? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
see all the old friends. Like, and I gotta say, they were looking good too. Like they gave Niventic some hard games, and honestly, like Soldier played out of his mind on Thrall. In the games, awesome. He was hitting amazing sunders.
So he wasn't playing tank. Set. He was playing.
He was playing. He played like Thrall.
That's good to hear. That's
yeah. He played a lot of Thrall, and he was doing an insane job. So, yeah, I feel like the spot though today is going to be still going to be a tricky road for them, because there's still some pretty darn good teams that they're going to have to beat. I think it would have been a stretch for them to beat Niventic at this point, right? But, you know, now today I feel like we're going to see some really exciting games.
Well, that's coming up very soon. Basically, the qualifier will be 2 days long. Obviously, you know, we have got 4 of our teams qualified, with Denial moving forward and Niventic moving forward, joining Gale Force and Murloc Geniuses. I hope those guys get a sponsor. I really do. But we do have to talk about some other big news that happened, because over this last week, I mean, maybe you guys talked about it during the qualifier, but there has been some roster changes between Niventic and Gale Force. If you guys haven't followed the scene super closely, Fan has actually been picked up on the side of Gale Force, and Rafflecopter has retired. So, you know, since you guys have seen them in play, does Fan like make Gale Force look like this relentless powerhouse that's going to go all the way to the grand finals at BlizzCon? Like, or is it just too early to tell?
Dude, do you want to go first, Dunk?
No, it's fine. You can go.
Every time I like always like kind of start, and I look for tells from Dunk that, you know, he wants to go, and his face is always just like. He doesn't like say, like he holds, like he represses these like hardcore feelings. All right,
you got to push the feels down, man.
I gotta say, I think, you know, Fan is one of the most hyped players in North America, obviously, and he deserves it. And he's been the most consistently like delivering on his hype since the very beginning.
Agreed.
And he's just that guy who's like, he's always on point. You know what I mean? Like he seems to like never have a bad tournament. And he always just does it right. He's the absolute all-star of NA, in my opinion. And I think putting him with GFE is going to make that team pretty unstoppable in the scope of NA. Now, I think also at the same time that, Murloc Genius's roster right now looks extremely strong, and Niantic is looking great with Jason. Jason proved himself to be a huge asset to the new Niantic squad in this qualifier, in my opinion. Just from watching their play, he fit in great.
That's awesome.
But I'm going to go ahead and say I think GFE is going to be securing that number one spot in NA for quite a little while. Quite a little while.
Where do you put Denial? Does Denial still have kinks to work out in your opinion? Or like,
I absolutely think they have kinks to work out in their opinion. I think if they can hit their stride, they're going to do extremely well, and definitely will be contesting for like top 2 position. But right now they still seem a little shaky, So I would say I want to give them a little bit more time to find their stride and hit it and actually turn it up before I don't feel like they're in their true final form yet. That's what I guess what I'm saying here. I think they're a great roster with tons of raw talent and great, if they can dedicate to the game, work hard at it, I think they're going to hit their stride and be great, but they're just not quite in their final form yet.
So another thing to know, we didn't even mention this, Denial has made a roster change. They have swapped out Prismat, and iDream has returned out of retirement. Now, iDream, obviously known as kind of a loose cannon. He goes in, he goes hard, he gets the results, but he's very akin to many of the melee assassin players that once they go in, they either get the kill or they don't come out. I would say he's definitely able to get the kills, but he does bring like other crazy things to the table. Like he brings Rexar as like, hey, suddenly they can run, a composition that is going to utilize Rexar and Dragonshire. He's more than happy to do that, and he expands their hero pool. And also this is someone I think this is really big for Denial, that they have someone that can take the Thrall and the Sonya away from Glau, because he's not good with those heroes. So I think that's a strength for them here.
Yeah, I could see that. I think, like Hale said, GFE definitely looks like, assuming Fen fits into the roster fine, we have no reason to believe he won't, but like assuming all of that works out well, just because you never really know how roster changes are going to work out, I think they are number 1 in NA for sure, at PAX at least. Just because even if another team could be better, I don't think the 2 weeks is enough time to be better than what GFE has going for them. I think they're going to be just insane. I don't think they're going to be like top 2 BlizzCon, top 4 BlizzCon. I think that's still just, you know what? I don't think NA is there right now compared to the Korean teams and the Chinese teams. Like it would have to be, I would be really impressed. Yeah, I would be really impressed if they did it, but I wouldn't put my money on that. But I would expect them to at least make a good showing and not embarrass themselves on the international stage. Like I think they definitely have what it takes to step up and get like a 5th, 6th place or something, and definitely threaten at least some of the good Korean teams. As far as who's going to BlizzCon with them, I think that spot is actually really wide open right now. I don't know. There's a lot of options, it feels like, in NA to get that 2nd spot, and a lot of it is going to come down to...
What's an interesting dynamic that I was thinking about for GFE, though, is, with Fan, like, he's kind of always been on teams where he can fit in as, like, the quieter, like, personality on the team. I don't know. Maybe that, like, Derek, you can give us a little more information on, like, your perspective on it, but he has always kind of had that, like, louder personality, like, leading the team, and Zuna and like you and all these other people. It's just like he's always kind of the one who can be more quiet on the team, and maybe we'll see him take a little bit more like leadership within this squad as like more of the seasoned veteran who has probably the most game knowledge on that team. How do you feel about that?
I think Fan definitely has one of the best work ethics of any player I've seen, but as far as like role in the team, I think he just kind of slots in and does whatever is best for the team. Like on our team, he wasn't like that loud. Like he contributed in in-game comms, but he wasn't that much of a contributor like out of game to like draft strategies and stuff. But he
that's kind of what I expected.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's like going to be consistent for him on this team, because as you said, like now that he's made such a big name for himself and he's on this team, GFE, like everyone is probably going to be looking to him as like Fan is the carry, and like he's going to be able to have a lot more control of the team if he wants it. So I just don't know what he's actually going to do. Like I don't know if he wants to be the guy trying to like control drafts and stuff like that. I don't think he wants to control drafts, but I don't know.
They still have Michael Udall, who is a huge personality and a leader for that team. So I'm not trying to say they don't have like a good leader or anything like that. I'm just curious, because if you look at things, Michael Udall is definitely more of a like fresh face in the scene, and he's done fantastically well. But compared to just the longevity of somebody like Fan, who's seen it all,
it's funny that you compare them because they're both heroes of the dorm champions. Like Fan was the dorm champion in year 1, and Udall was the dorm champion in year 2, and now they're teammates. And Udall really does kind of feel like that young Fan in a lot of ways.
Kind of, he does, yeah. It's true.
So it'll be interesting to see how that camaraderie, pans out in the end. To see how that grows, and so on and so forth. But GFE is definitely going to be next level, like scary.
Like, I don't think, even if something disastrous happens in their run at PAX, like, I don't think another team is going to be able to challenge them in the like tiebreaker. So GFE looks really good to get the spot. Like, I don't think this roster, I don't think is going to lose even if they have to play a tiebreaker match. But I would put them as favorites to win PAX, honestly.
Okay, even just drafting against them, like the amount of things they have at their disposal with their roster is like scary. They don't have a weak link. It's really good.
Now, have you guys seen the? I saw a tweet from Naventic. I think it was like Zuna showing their boot camp setup. I think they're going to be training pretty hard. I think that they're definitely showing up here 100% in full form to try and get that spot.
They want BlizzCon. Like, if they don't get BlizzCon, like, what's the point, right? This is the time to go hard. Like, this event means so much.
And I guess what I'm arriving at here is just with Zuna, I've always kind of felt that, when he has a fresh roster behind him and he's at full motivation and he's also working hard, he can have spikes to where I feel like he becomes even a scarier player than Fan.
I agree.
He spikes like
to top 5 player in the world. Like,
absolute. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if he hits like the peak at one of those spikes and aligns that up just right with their PAX matches, they could absolutely if he gets the PAX spot, then they're gonna be like monsters. Or they do have the PAX spot. So yeah, at PAX.
I mean, they have the spot at PAX, but they want the spot for BlizzCon.
Yes,
right?
for BlizzCon. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, quick shout out. Mistax stepped in. Mistax, a regular in the hero scene. He does all kinds of great stuff. $300 donation. Thank you so much, Mistax. And then Pabsy gave us a $5 donation as well. Thank you so much, Pabsy. Dino Boys using that Bloodlust code on Matcherino to give us $1. Magus, Rhaegar, 94. All you guys supporting. We're at 46.25, almost at the actual initial goal, which we announced this last week. So all I can do is say thank you. But we are nearing the end of the show, so I just wanted to any other final thoughts on the state of NA. Like, are there wild cards? Like, where does Vox Nihili stand? They showed up. They came to regionals and they impressed, and they just had a roster swap as well, I believe, right?
They picked up McIntyre, right?
It was Mac, yeah. And
I think that change makes their team a lot better, but I don't feel like they are going to break the top. I wouldn't expect them to get a BlizzCon spot. Like, there's only one left. You have to be better than GFE. You have to be better than Naventic. You have to be better than everyone at the tournament except Murlocs, basically, to get the BlizzCon spot, which is a tall order. And I would be really surprised to see them get there.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on their team just yet. I mean, they're solid and they're definitely getting up there, but I'm on board with you on that. I'm going to fully agree and say I don't think they're quite ready for the BlizzCon spot.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. They're definitely going to be doing their very best to show up at PAX if they can make it there. I guess we'll be having to see what they can do tonight. Is the bracket's probably not even up yet, right? Because the check-in's still happening. It is.
Oh, is it?
The bracket's up. I think check-in is closed.
Oh, because the event starts in what, an hour and 15?
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting real close to shutouts, guys, because I haven't even eaten lunch yet. I traveled home from New York. I had the call with Ting. Ting was like already, they were just like super pumped about Bloodlust. And once again, if you guys missed the news, Ting is officially the first sponsor joining us here with Matcherino as our 2 sponsors for Bloodlust to make it all happen. And
that's just like Bloodlust plus Ting. It's just this cute little, like the most like unthreatening icon ever.
That is beast.
Well, we can make a Bloodlust version of the Ting logo if we have to. So yeah, just looking at the bracket here, we have Vox sitting in the number 1 seed, basically based on performance from regionals. BR Gods. Oh, Brazil Gods. Okay, I don't know them. 2Arc. Who's in 2Arc right now? Is it still Oddish? Or is that Blaze that I'm thinking of? That's Blaze. So this is LZ, Kawhi. So the same squad they've had for a little while now.
Man, that you gotta give a round of applause to 2Arc. They've just been around forever.
Yeah.
And you just keep going, man. Just keep working at it.
It's true. I mean, Mr. Nixus is
props to LZ, man.
And LZ too.
He's just such a good guy too, you know.
They both are. They really are great.
They've always just been like such a great group of people, and they just keep going at it.
Oh, Equinox is back. That's another thing.
Oh yeah.
Equinox is back on Astral.
He's kind of a interesting player too. Just how strong he looks when he's playing the right melee assassin.
Well, he's hot cold. He's really hot cold as a player. He's either on fire or he's like just not in the zone.
That seems really common with melee assassins, though.
Yeah, it definitely does. So maybe it's not even fair to say that because it's like that's how a lot of them are. So TNC definitely going to be another threat. They played really well.
Oh yeah, TNC's great.
So these are the teams. So this is the team you're talking about: Pax Prime, Tickets Please, Arth, Urho, Krug, Cure.
Oh my gosh, Krug.
I think they disbanded though.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what Cure's saying in chat. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And then Dumpster Tier Failures. I thought it was Rejects.
I think they changed it. They're changing it like every qualifier. Like they definitely changed it.
Spam your SJ Dumpster in chat if you like them. Faye,
honestly, their roster is really stacked.
Yeah. I mean, they made a few swaps since regionals. Obviously, Mac moving over to Vox and Haley. I think that's probably best for the team, just because of I think if you have multiple shot callers, it might get dicey. I think Mac and Sray might have, conflicted a bit on decision making. But yeah, that is speculative. But who knows? Prismat is now moving over to here, and we'll see how he performs with that team.
Yeah.
But
so brackets are interesting this time.
I would put a lot of hype onto Dumpster Tier Failures for today, though. I think there's a very high chance that they're going to make it.
I mean, they're number 2 seed. It's really it's them and Vox as the pack leaders for the event. Now, the actual qualified teams won't happen till tomorrow, I think, because today is the first 2 rounds, and then tomorrow the teams qualify.
Yep.
But sweet. Well, that show will be unfolding in just an hour, and TownHall Heroes must go away for another week. And Jake must go find food quickly before he dies. So we're going to transition over to the shout-outs. But, well, you know what? KO, take it away, man.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me this week. It was fun talking about all the new announcements coming over from Gamescom. If you guys want to follow me and see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Twitter at TempoKO. You can follow me on Twitch, just KO on Twitch, and then, of course, KO on YouTube as well if you want to see some good educational stuff. I just put out that video on Medic talking about Naventix play from the last qualifier. So more stuff to come, probably analyzing a lot of the EU games coming out from Gamescom as well. So that's about it for me. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, man. Dunkus.
Yeah. Thanks again for being on the show. As far as me, you guys know me. You can follow me on Twitter at DunkTrain and twitch.tv/DunkTrain. And I'm going to be casting the qualifier tonight. KO and Jake are as well. I'll be casting with Jake on his channel in about an hour. So catch me there. You won't have to go without me for too long, guys.
Damn. Yeah. Usually I try to keep my shout-outs quick and sweet, but there's a whole group of people that have helped fund this event that haven't gotten their shout-outs yet. I tried to get a lot of them in, and we're going to go through a few more pretty quick here. Under the founder tab here, we have Midget Corruptor. This is basically somebody they're going to be on the credits. I'm anyone that just wants that, to help fund this. This was literally the first crowdfund thing I threw on here. Midget Corruptor, Davo, The Only Guava Bean, Mr. Big Stuff, Pensive Goat, Da Bomb Diggity, Ash House Wears 00, Project X Run, Rarier, Frenoir, and Side of Beef. I'm hungry. Thank you guys. And then
The name just made your stomach grumble.
Ender's gonna get some honorable wiggles. No one's going face. And then we've got our actual heroes of the Stromboli. These are a little bit more limited, but it's $100 donation essentially. Glamarka, McLaggett, that cowhead guy, Kagakiri, Tragonus, and Blizz NYC. So guys, thank you all so much for supporting this. Again, we've offered a bunch of tank coaching sessions. There are still 2 available for Alex the Pro G. All the other ones have sold out. KO is apparently going. We'll get the details ironed out for that. We're going to get KO to offer some sessions because we're trying to get KO here to be part of this event and make it even that much more dynamic with
Yes.
just amazing analysis, amazing commentary from some of the community's longest standing members, and we're gonna work on getting some other players from the support and assassin pool as well.
Wow, we're so close.
Yeah, we are insanely close. 47 out of 5,000 to hit that initial goal. And the stretch goals are then the next target. But for me, though, shout out to my personal sponsor, Asus. They've, done wonderful things for me, giving me the computer, enabling me to be able to carry this rig with me when I travel, stay plugged in, be able to keep working, and having that mobile computer has been stupidly beneficial, especially recently when I'm always on the road, going to this Minecraft event and then going to New York City. And just a shout out to you guys for coming on. I'm gonna go eat whatever I can find. I hope I have food. I probably got a box of mac and cheese that I'm just going to inhale. And
Don't even cook it. Just get
no,
in
that's
there.
no, straight up. Just gonna go dry. Oh God.
Oh no.
Just dump the powdered cheese onto the macaroni.
That'll help my voice.
Shards of
And
macaroni in your gums.
I guess the final thing is I'm just really excited to finally be launching the studio. We'll have more news next week. And Dunk and Zoya will be definitely joining us. So that means Zoya is in a way back. We'll see. I know he's excited about all the other news. I talked to him, and anything I can do to pull him back and to be more involved, I'm going to do it. Zoya, I'm coming for you, baby. But all right, guys. GG's. We'll see you next week.